I'm here with my friend, Opus, and we're going to talk about the Opus in terms of the amount of space you have in your hips. And this jacket is not too tight. In fact, if anything, it's a little too loose on her with this mannequin. But it will allow me to just tell you a little bit about where the spaces are that you can add a little bit of extra. And since the Opus coat does not have two different sides like the tabula rasa, one that's straight for people who are pretty straight up and down, and one that is flared if your upper body is narrower than your hip area. You would choose a different one, and then it's pretty easy to adjust those going up one size or another. But with the Opus, there's just one side panel, and it's a tiny little bit flared. So if you are very narrow at the top, and then you get wider as you go into your hip area, and you often have to grade up a couple of sizes anyway, that will be something that will be very important for you to do on your Opus. And the Opus has these seams. This is the side panel seams that we look at here, and they're very easy. You see I was actually carving a little bit out of the waist up there in a different video. They're very easy places to either take in or let out, and you maybe will want to just take in or let out the side depending on how much you need, or you can add to, for additional width in the hip, both the front, each side of the side panel, and also the back. So we have a video that shows you how this works. I used the Opus pattern to show you, and I've graded up two sizes in all of these and calculated approximately how much extra inches that would give you, just so you can get a sense of how you can do it. If you have targeted areas that need to be adjusted for instance, if you have a particularly full derriere, you might want to add to the back and also to the side, the back side, which is the double notched side of the side panel. Likewise, if you have a very full belly, you might want to add to the front, just the front, or to the front and the side front, single notches, in order to expand the coat there and not give yourself too much coat in the back. So if you've made a mock-up, or you know you need this alteration generally in any pattern, go ahead and proactively add a little bit to your pattern by grading up to maybe the next size, or by just, if you've already cut the pattern out in your size, as we tell you to do, then just add a little bit of paper and grade it out with your curved ruler. You'll see how to do that in this video. We're going to take a few minutes and look at the pattern pieces for the Opus. We're going to look at the Opus right now and think about the upper body proportions versus the lower body proportions. The tabula rasa jacket has two different side panels. These are not interchangeable pieces with the Opus patterns, but when you're making that, you can choose the flared side or the straight side. The Opus is a more generic pattern because it's a coat, and you can do that, but we're going to talk about how to add a little bit in the lower part of the body by moving between sizes. If you proactively know that you need to have a little bit more in the hip area and down towards the hem than you do in the top, in the bodice part of the coat. And so this coat is cut to a size small. This is the small, it's been traced, the small side. I actually traced it, this one here, while we were looking at how to trace a pattern in a previous video. And so while I was doing it, I traced some of the other sizes that join the hip area here, so you can see how much extra you can add into the hips if you grade between sizes. And you can even do this proactively if you know that this is something you always need to do, or that generally when you purchase or make things, the bottom is tight and the top, if the top fits, the bottom is tight. These are the kinds of things you could do to alter your pattern. So I'm going to move these two pieces up. I wanted you to see, here's your front and your back. The back is cut on the fold. So we're just going to look at basically half the jacket as we have this conversation. I'm going to move these up here so we can see them all aligned. And here we have the small size hip, hip lower area. So this is where the side panel connects. You can see here to here to here. And you can see here that they're all fairly rectangular. This one has a little bit of extra room as you move down from the top. Again, this is a coat. It's not supposed to be fitted or fit snugly. Now, but if you need more in this area, you can grade between sizes. And we're going to look here at the front, and you can see here that I have graded. So this is the small line. There's an S there. The next line over is the size medium line. And the third size is the large line. So you're adding increasingly more with each size to give you more. And of course you're going to have two fronts, so you're going to have that equally on both sides. I have graded them into the original seam, blending into here. Your body might not need quite this much up in the waist or upper hip area. We're all built a little bit differently. And you could always use the curved ruler to blend in a little bit lower, or to even create a little bit of shaping in there as you came up, and you could do that like this. So blending and changing is not a problem, and the more you master the curved ruler, the easier you will find that. So here is the front. I have added up two sizes. You could only go up one if you need to. And now I have done the same thing on the side panel. I have gone up, I have drawn and graded in and blended in two extra sizes here on the side panel. So the medium and the large, all right, both front and back. The back has the double notches. The front has the single notches, all right. And then I've done the same thing here on the back. And you can see here where I blended, I actually left the original line is here, and the new line comes in here. And this was tricky on the back because of where the notch was. It was coming into the blend. You can see there the red lines are the new blended lines, and then all right, and these are the original lines. Not trying to confuse you. I just want you to see what an incredible amount of extra you can get just by grading up a size or two in the hip area. You might just want to go up one side of the hip area if you like to have a lot of room and the lower part of your coat. This is the jacket length. If you were making the coat length, it would be even longer, and you might, but generally once we get past that hip area, we go pretty straight down to have a consistent jacket length. But so let's just measure here just for fun and see what we have. So by adding down here in the hip, we have an extra 3/4 here in the front. We have an extra inch on each side of the side panel, and we have another not quite an inch, 7/8. We'll say it's 3/4. That'll make our math easy. So on each side of the jacket, you're adding 3.5 inches. If you add all those up, you get 3.5. So if you do it on both sides of the jacket, of course, once you do it on the pattern, it will automatically happen on both sides of the jacket. You are adding 7 extra inches around the circumference of the coat. And that is terrific if you need it. And that allows you to get the smaller size you need up in the upper body of the coat And then to grade yourself out on the pattern work. And again, you can do this proactively. And then you can just shape these sides as you need to once you do your fitting in your mock-up and find out exactly how much of that extra you needed. It can be easily taken off the pattern once you know what you need. So allow yourself the time to think through what your body looks like and how you can proactively fix your pattern. You can do it with this extra width in the hip if you want, choosing the pattern size for the upper body and then adjusting the lower body. That's generally how we suggest in any sewing that you work because it's a little easier. And then you can also do the round back adjustment if you need that. You can even do some of the bust adjustments proactively and then adjust them a little bit more as you need. Oh, fitting is a process. You will do a little bit at a time. You might get the whole thing made and wear your jacket a couple times and think, you know, the next time I make this, I'd like it to be a little smaller. Or the next time I wear this, I'd like this to be a little bigger. And we empower you to make those adjustments so you get exactly the right fit that feels right for you.